Domestic and Family Violence Prevention Month commences on the 1st of May to raise community awareness on the social and personal impact of domestic and family violence and to show us the support available to those affected. According to a study by the ABS Personal Safety Survey, an estimated 500,000 Australian women reported to be physically or sexually assaulted in the past 12 months. Beyond these startling numbers are stories of women who have to endure physical and emotional effects of the abuse. On the phone with me today is a DV victim who has risen over and beyond the pain to journey with other victims and transform their experiences into publications of comfort and support. In her new book, God's Timing, Not Mine, author Kym Miller tells the true story of Alice, a woman who suffered domestic violence, and her journey to freedom and healing. Kym, congratulations on the book launch.
Thank you very much, Lara, for your congratulations, the opportunity to speak with you today, and for mentioning about Domestic and Family Violence Prevention Month. Mm-hmm. It is such an important time to be able to stand up and show our support for all the victims out there, those who have passed away and those who have remained.
Mm-hmm. Kym, who is Alice?
Alice is an everyday Christian woman who is naturally a very compassionate and caring person and has helped many other people during her life. Mm-hmm. She endured many years of domestic and family violence before finally fleeing for her life from her husband, Tom. Mm-hmm. She had witnessed and heard a lot about domestic and family violence as a child and teenager, and she had vowed that she would never tolerate it herself. It was not until she left her husband that she found out that what she'd been through during her teenage years and the whole of her marriage life was domestic violence. This totally shattered her, and it took many years for her to rebuild this shattered life through courses, through a local counselling office, and her faith in God.
Mm-hmm. Why do we tolerate?
You tolerate it because it is better to have the known than the unknown, because the unknown is just so fearful, so devastating, and you've been told over and over again, you are dumb, you are stupid, you are useless, you cannot survive, no one else will ever love you, this is the best you'll ever have. And it's a lie.
So we're talking here obviously not just about the physical abuse that we first think of when hearing domestic violence, but at the emotional abuse as well.
Yes, and that is a very common symptom, being alone and worthless. Mm-hmm. You lose everything, your self-respect, everything.
So you'd say you cannot exit physical abuse had you been victimized by emotional abuse first?
It's very, very difficult, and it takes a lot of strength to do so. A lot of women never ever do. They never gain that courage. Mm-hmm. But for those who do, the outcome can be amazing.
And what does Alice do? Does she rise up and stand for herself, or does she remain victimized in the story?
She stands up for herself. She gets help. She finds out where help is available. Mm-hmm. She seeks it out. She goes to local support groups, does courses through our local counselling service, and through those she builds herself up, because she not only does those courses, she applies those things to her life. Mm-hmm. And she changes herself from a victim to a survivor, which the two are very different. Some people remain victims all their life, even though they've escaped it. Mm-hmm. But to become a survivor and to shine and come out and be a new person that is just out there and shining is just such a wonderful experience.
How do you do it?
Getting help. That is the biggest thing. Going to local counselling services and that sort of thing. Doing workshops, going to counselling, doing workshops, and then just applying those workshops to your lives. You know, there's so many things like equipping for equity, laughter, fun and play, strong but not tough. I'm me and that's okay. They're the names of a lot of workshops that are out there offered through Lifeline and other companies that can really build you up, can help you develop to the person you are, and to know your likes and dislikes, to be able to stand up against those who want to push you down and present you as nothing. You can stand up and say, no, I'm me and I'm okay. It's okay that I'm different. It's okay that I'm, not a model figure. I'm scarred, yes, and that's okay. I'm still beautiful and I'm still a wonderful person.
So accepting your experience and reconciling.
Absolutely, yes.
How does this book offer hope to victims of domestic violence?
To let them know they're not alone. The isolation and loneliness that most domestic victims have because of the physical, psychological and emotional abuse they suffer can be nearly intolerable. And nearly everyone going through domestic and family violence will say at one time or another, no one will understand. I'm here to say there are people who understand. You're not going through something strange or different, something that no one else has gone through. There are people out there who know what you're going through, and they can offer support and help and just reshape your life to be so wonderful and marvellous in a way that you would never believe possible.
Kym, do you hear the argument, my culture is different, I've been raised up to accept it, I've been raised up to be submissive?
True, but violence is violence. Submission with domination is different to submission through love. There is a huge difference. And, you can talk about the headship of Christ as a Christian and that sort of thing. What did Christ do for his followers? He left heaven. He came down to this earth and walked as a man, and he died to save us. That is the headship that the Bible and Christianity talks about. It's not one of domineering, do as I say, do what I want, do it now. And that is the huge difference.
How about people that are not of a Christian background? How could you probably illustrate that example and that differentiation to them?
It doesn't matter what culture you are, you have the right to feel safe. You have the right to have your own opinion and to be able to express it without being condemned and ridiculed.
So it is not acceptable at any point in time to use the reference of culture to justify violence?
No. Culture, religion, anything. There is no reason for it at all.
It is definitely important to remember that violence does speak a universal language. So wherever you are, if you are feeling victimized, remember that it's not part of your culture or religion. And yes, you do not have to accept it. You do not have to accept it. Kym, you had experienced domestic violence firsthand. You are today a survivor of domestic violence. Where does that position you as an author when writing about a topic that will stimulate many emotional memories to you?
It was very hard to write that book. As I was going through a lot of places, I was saying, yeah, been there, done that, me too. Boy, someone else again, and you feel terrible. But to be able to write it and go through that and be able to share things with others, it just brings hope and sunshine to other people's lives, And yes, it did bring up a lot of bad memories, and I found the proofreading part was actually the worst. And there was times when I just had to stop proofreading because I just had tears running down my face. But overall, the book is a happy book. It's about surviving and improving and changing life as opposed to the bad side.
And it is a concrete book because it's actually depicting the real story of a woman that went through this experience.
Absolutely, yes.
What is your favorite passage in the book?
Sorry. My favourite passage is a very, very short one from Alice's diary.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, God is awesome, loving, powerful, and simply amazing. He can give a peace beyond all understanding, no matter what trials we have to face. I love my God, but he loved me first.
Wow.
And that's from chapter 6.
So Alice resorted to God for comfort.
Absolutely. All the time. You know, even before she left, God was her stay. You know, she used to go to sleep crying at night time, just praying to God to help her, to release her, to show her a way out. And he was always there for her. No matter what was going on, he was there for her.
Wow. If I were to ask you to list 10 to-dos for someone who's going through the experience now, someone who's being victimized now, what are the most important 10 things to do?
10 things? I'm not sure I could give 10 things, actually.
Let's try.
Let's try. The first thing is to acknowledge there is a problem.
Mm.
To acknowledge that it's not right. The next thing is to seek help.
Mm-hmm.
Find out if there's a local counselling service. There are phone numbers that are available for victims and for perpetrators, because it's just as important for them to get help as the victims.
Absolutely.
There's phone numbers. Get onto a phone, talk to someone. Talk to a professional, someone who can help you find out about the counselling services and that are available in your area, the courses that are available, and do them. Make a change in your life. And just because there's domestic violence in a relationship doesn't mean the relationship has to end. And that is important to a lot of people. If both parties are willing to work on the relationship and their own problems and issues, a relationship can be changed for the benefit of all. And that's not just the couple, that's for everyone who knows them, all relations, everyone, because they will see the change. I actually have a list of the phone numbers for victims and perpetrators, if you would like me to give them this morning.
Go for it.
Okay, for female victims, it's an Australia-wide number.
Excellent.
Is 1-800 737 732.
1-800-737-732, and that's for female victims of domestic violence.
Absolutely. For children, there's a kids helpline, which is 1-800-551-800.
Okay.
And for male victims, it's a 1300 number. It's 1300-789978.
789978.
That's
Actually,
right.
the male's experience with domestic violence is underreported. It actually does exist. Yes, males do get abused and they do experience domestic and family violence.
That's right, yes. There's actually one organisation, I think it's called 1 in 3, and that's what they put the number as, is 1 in 3 males.
Allow me to repeat these numbers in Arabic for our listeners. إذا كنتوا عم بتعانوا من عنف منزلي أو عائلي، الأرقام يلي فيكم تتصلوا فيهم للمساعدة حول أستراليا للنساء المعنفات 1800 737 732، للأطفال 1800 551 800، أما للرجال 1300 78997. Kym, we have a segment in our show that is called I Posted What I Posted. And in this segment, I would go on your Facebook page and look up one of your posts and ask you, why did you post that? Are you ready?
Yes, sure.
Okay, now the post that I've chosen was posted on the 24th of April, 11:08 a.m. The counselor told Alice that if she ran now, she would be running all her life.
That's right, yes. That's a quote from the book, and it's just letting people know that there's so much fear. You don't know what to do. You just want to pack up and run. But if you do that, you will be running. You'll be always looking over your shoulder. You won't trust anybody. And that's the fear of domestic violence. But you need to find somehow a bit of safety. You need to find your own little haven, no matter where it is, and ground yourself there.
Now, putting the author aside, what would Kym, the woman and domestic violence survivor, say to women listening to us now who are being victimized?
You're not alone. Please do not think you are alone, and seek help. We've provided the numbers here this morning. Just reach out. Talk to someone, a professional, a friend. Talk to someone and get help.
Kym, thank you very much for an inspiring interview. I'm sure the book is as inspiring. Could you tell us where could we find our copy of God's Timing, Not Mine?
Yes, sure. It can be purchased online at exlibris.com.au, from amazon.com and bn.com, or you can go to your local bookstore and ask for God's Timing, Not Mine by Kym Miller, published by Exlibris.
Kym, thank you very much today.
Thank you.